Hey everybody, this is Captain Fool reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, you know, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Jumping right into the fun, let's first talk about The Flash issue number 9, where 91 out of 97 liked it with a 4.1 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. Speaking of geeks, I think some of the alternate covers are better than the main cover that you get with this book, but that is what it is. The writer is Simon Spurr, the artist is Ramon Perez, and if I butchered that once again, I'm sorry, that's just what I do. Also, without a high amount of editing on these videos, you never know what it'll get through, right? So it says the Speed Force chaos consumes the planet as the Speed Force glitching causes more chaos around the world. Another rogue is gifted with a mysterious power set upgrade. Well, Linda seeks out the source of the mysterious voices she's been hearing, and Barry reaches a breaking point. You know, this issue has okay art, but it still continues to be a convoluted story, and the story is moving incredibly slowly, which is, no pun intended, being a Flash book. I say really this is not a good jump on point if you're a Flash reader. Only get this if you've been reading Flash for a while, otherwise you're probably going to be completely lost. This is really not a new reader friendly book. I could only give this issue a 7 out of 10 compared to their 4.1 average rating. So League of Comics Geeks, people on there gave it on average a lot higher score than I did, but that's my thoughts on the Flash. I've not been digging it that much. Next book I want to talk about is another DC book, Green Arrow, number 12. 110 out of 116 liked it with a 4.1 average rating. You know what? I gave it a 7.3. I gave it above average, but once again, not as high as League of Comics Geeks there. The writer is Joshua Williams, artist is Phil Hester. Says, finally, the family reunion. This is it. For the last year, Oliver Queen has been on a mission to reunite his family and friends. Can the Emerald Archer overcome Merlin's final master move and get the family reunion we've all been dying to see? Yes, he can. Absolutely. The end of this story arc is here. So if you want to start reading after this issue, yeah, it might be a good one to start at. It really is not a bad story. I think that this was a good ending, and it was okay art as well. So if you're enjoying the Green Arrow character, this was probably a pretty good one to get. You get to see a lot of the Green Arrow family, which I think is quite nice. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by My Wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below. Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give me a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you everybody. And let's get back to the video. Now, the next book I want to jump to is a series that surprised me greatly about how good it has been. And that's Avengers Twilight number 6. Yeah, 153 out of 155 liked it, with a 4.5 average rating on League of Comics Geeks here. You know what? I gave it an 8.2, so not too far off from what they gave it. Chip Zdarsky's the writer, and I think he's doing a really good job on this. The artist is growing on me. I wasn't a big fan of his style, but I think it works for this book. Is Daniel Acuna, and this book also has a couple good alternate covers as well, but the main one, the Hulk one, is pretty fantastic as it is. The end has come. Yep, this is it. A horrific bomb has been dropped, and its fallout can't be contained. Avengers and Defenders rise up to save the world, but death stalks them all. The senses-shattering series concludes here in an epic you have to see to believe. And you know what? It's really good. It's a great issue. There's good action, good art, and it might be a bittersweet conclusion, but it is a good conclusion. This was a great mini-series. I really did enjoy how they ended it. They didn't give it a no gravitas ending there. It had impact. It had meaning to the characters, and it had heart. And I think we need this more, especially in Avengers books. If you think about it, the main title of Avengers is constantly, for the last couple of years now, major event, major event, major event. Sometimes, you know, they just need to fight some regular villains. Not everything has to be a world-altering event. I get it, Avengers band together for those big things, but sometimes we just need one with maybe a little more heart. And I think that's what the Avengers book has been missing, is the heart. And so Avengers Twilight, really, the whole thing revolves around characterization and heart, and I think it did a much better job. Now, this next issue, I'm going to start out by saying I was wrong. Now, I admit that when I'm wrong, but you don't hear it often because I'm not that wrong that often. And if you recall, I was really weary of how the Night Thrasher book series was going to go. It really was. And to be honest, probably not many other people, because on League of Comics Geeks, only for Night Thrasher number 4, only 8 of 9 liked it with a 4.1 average rating. That means hardly anybody's even bothering to pick up this book. And to be fair, I gave it a 7.4. I gave it a pretty decent score there. And let me talk about this a little bit here. The writer is Jason Holtham, and artist is Nelson Daniel. And we have characters, and I can understand not being a big seller, we have characters that haven't been around, you know, or very popular, like Night Thrasher and Silhouette here, and a supporting cast that not many people know of. But the book was leading, as I mentioned before, into territory that I thought was going to become very preachy. Anyway, he says Night Thrasher finally chooses a side. He can no longer walk the line. It is forced to get off the fence. Yeah, get off the fence. And choose a side for the final battle for the soul of his city. Enemies become allies. Well, really, they were originally allies to turn enemies, and they're now allies again. And the life of his old friend hangs in the balance, as Dwayne fights to free himself from his past and save the future. But when the dust settles, will there even be anything or anyone worth saving? You know what? If anything is worth saving, this book was worth saving. I wish they would have maybe been a little more careful on the issues up to it, because issue 1 through 3, 1 I think was fine. 2 started having me worried. 3 I was very worried that it was going to go down the woke preachy route. But you know what? It actually didn't. This series ended much better than I expected. I was so worried that it was going to go with a normal Marvel comic, you know, trope where all the cops are bad, you know, and everyone's a racist. But I'm happy, because I was wrong. This book didn't do that. It had a decent art in it, nothing fantastic art-wise, but it did have a solid, good conclusion. I was happy to be wrong, so I gave this book a 7.4. So if you do want to check out the Night Thrasher miniseries with 4 issues, sure, go ahead and do that. And you don't have to be as worrisome as I was in the earlier issues. Now, this next one is another good series, a good issue from a good series. It's Ultimate Spider-Man number 5, where 423 out of 427 liked it with a 4.4 average rating. And I want to mention that again, 423 out of 427. That means this book is selling well, most likely selling very well to have that many reviews. The writer is Jonathan Hickman, artist is David Messina, and it says, The Secret History of Harry Osborn. How does the heir apparent of the Oscorp become a masked vigilante? And what does Green Goblin know of the true status of the world he lives in? All this and more will be revealed. Now, what's interesting about this particular issue is that you really don't get Spider-Man in it. It's all focusing around Osborn. I gave this book an 8 Yeah, I give it a high score too. It surprised me because usually a book when it doesn't have the main character, I think, it usually misses the mark. But this continues to be, this series, this issue in the series as well, continues to be the best Spider-Man series out there that I'm aware of right now. This is so much better than Amazing Spider-Man. Even though it's in the Ultimate Universe, it's still more characterized like Spider-Man, if you will. Good art, good story development in this. This is a solid issue. It really does dive more into Harry Osborn here, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. To understand the supporting cast of Peter Parker and Spider-Man and flesh them out in this universe is not a bad idea. Lots of people are getting this book, and if you are not, and you want some Spider-Man, don't bother with Amazing Spider-Man. Get this instead. Now, another issue that I was a little leery about getting here, because the last one I wasn't too keen on, is Jackpot and Black Cat number 3. 12 out of 28 liked it with a 2.5 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, which does not shout any confidence. It means the sales are in the toilet, and let's be honest, not many people are liking this. Okay. And, well, it makes sense why. The writer is Celeste Barofman, which, once again, if I butchered, it's not an intentional slight there. It's just because I can't say names to save my life. And the artist is Emilio Liasso. Sorry. Once again, terrible. Of course, this is about Black Cat and Jackpot. The mysterious and deadly blackmail ring of New York City comes to a head, with our heavy-hitting heroines their heads are on the block, yeah. Black Cat will need all of her luck, and Jackpot is going to have to hit it big if they have a chance at saving the city. Now, you ready for this one? I can't believe I'm saying this. I actually gave this book a higher score than League of Comics Geeks. Yeah, they had an average rating of 2.5, so if they were using my scale, that would be like a 5. I gave it a 7.6. Woo, big difference there. To be honest, this issue, the art was good. And it was nice seeing, and I guess I gave it a bump too, because we get some D-list villains here. And for some reason, I like it when we start seeing some of these villains we don't see as much, even if they're D-list. But with this group, it makes sense. I mean, they're fighting Jackpot and Black Cat. I mean, don't get me wrong, Black Cat's amazing, but Jackpot, come on now. That power is completely stupid. Mary Jane needs to be just Mary Jane. She was a great character on her own. She doesn't need this. Maybe you give her skills as a spy. I don't know. Who knows? But I think this is a much better issue than I expected. Maybe that's why I gave it a higher score, because I expected complete garbage. And, okay, I'll admit this too. Maybe part of the reason I gave it a higher score is because it was nice seeing MJ's boyfriend getting punched in the face. I hate that guy. I just don't like that character. Seeing him get punched in the face, I probably gave it a higher score because of that. So maybe that's why. It's still a waste of these characters. I probably gave the book a higher score than I should have, but it's a waste of these characters. But we're going to get the Owl more now in the next issue. And Owl is a character, too, we don't see a whole lot of. And he's going to be going after Black Cat and all. So I think that's a nice little tie-in there as well. What are you checking out this week? I know once in a while you see a book and you maybe think of it as a lot better than everybody else. Is there a book out there that you'd give a higher score and everybody else craps on? This might be don't say that with issue 1 and 2 though. This issue was better than those. That's why normally this would probably be in the crapper, but this one was okay. But that's the books I read this week. Not a huge haul, so I probably missed some things. I read a lot of Captain America back issues this week as well. That's something I don't usually share. I don't review the back issues I read. I go through and read a complete series, so it is what it is. So if you go, why haven't you tried more of these? Well, I'm actually still playing catch up and I'm rereading the whole series there for Captain America. I think I'm close to issue 300 now. So that's a lot there. But anyway, thanks for spending this time with me today. I greatly appreciate all of you. And thank these people here again, because without them, this channel wouldn't be possible. And you all have a wonderful day, because you're great. Until next time, keep it frugal.